Tamagawa is under a lot of stress at work because of unhappy clients. To relax, he goes to a cat cafe and helps out there. He tells the cats all about his problems and worries. People have offered to help him find a new job or even work at the cafe, but he blames himself for his problems, not the job. Watching the cats, he started thinking that he'd like to be a cat too. Rai came to the cat cafe for the first time and immediately asked if he could pet the animals. He was told he could, and that he could even take one home if he liked it. Tamagawa had fallen asleep, and Rai was asked to wake him up. When Rai petted Tama on the head, the guy really felt like a cat and started meowing. When he came back to his senses, he realized what happened and was very embarrassed. But Rai had already decided he was taking this cat home. The cafe staff said he would need to live with the cat for a while to see if they were compatible, and after that Rai could officially become his owner. Rai works from home, so he would be able to spend all his time with the pet. Tamagawa didn't understand what was happening or why he was being given to some guy, but no one asked his opinion. Rai's apartment was impressive. He's a well-known novelist. Once Tamagawa came to his senses, he decided to go back to his own home. Rai tried to touch him, but he scratched him. The guy apologized and treated the wound, but was still angry that he had tried to touch him without asking. It turned out that Rai used to have a cat named Tama, and the guy's hair was just like that cat's fur. Rai regretted not spending enough time with his pet and making it feel lonely when he was away. So he thought that if his pet was a person, he wouldn't have to worry so much. Tamagawa had come home with him because he saw the lonely look in his eyes. He let Rai pet his head a little. Rai pulled him into a hug and Tamagawa could hear his heartbeat. He didn't resist at all, and Rai praised him for being such a good boy. Hearing that, Tamagawa passed out. He woke up in Rai's bed and couldn't get out of his arms. When Rai loosened his grip, Tamagawa escaped and ran away. At work, Tamagawa couldn't concentrate because of everything that happened. On his way home, Rai caught him. The cafe staff told him it wasn't good to let your cat run off on the first day. Tamagawa suggested Rai get a real cat, but the guy didn't want another cat. They helped out at the cafe together, and by the end Tamagawa saw Rai petting a cat that normally didn't let anyone touch it. He thought to himself that Rai's hands really did feel amazing. Rai explained where a cat's weak spot is, and then started wondering where Tamagawa's might be. After that, Tamagawa went home and Rai followed him. It turned out his pregnant sister and her husband were going to stay in his room for a while, so he would have to live in a hotel. Thanks to that, Rai managed to bring him his place again. Tamagawa decided it was time to finally move out of parents' house and planned to start looking for an apartment the next day. But Rai insisted he stay. After all, he's his cat. Tamagawa said that in that case he'd pay half the rent, but Rai said cats don't pay rent. He also asked him to meow. Tamagawa obediently accepted his fate of being a cat.